Welcome back to our coverage of the John Ident Cup match of the round here at Nichols Oval. We have Gungahlin Eagles hosting Royals. It's 3 against 4, and it's been a wonderful game of rugby so far. If you're a Royals fan, Gungahlin, a lot of work to do. 17 points to 0 is the difference as the Eagles kick off. Collected by Copsey.
Yeah, Eagles running towards the lucky end of the field this half, Kieran. Hopefully they can get the scoreboard in their favour. Good start from Royals, though.
I think there's quite a bit in that. We spoke a little bit about that in the first half. You feel like you're running on a treadmill when you're running in mud, and when you're running out of what is there, I would imagine it'd be an uphill task to try and get out of your defensive area, and that's what we saw from Gungahlin in the first half. In fact, they're a much better side than they were in the first 40 minutes. Hopefully in this second half we can see a little bit more zest and them put together some of those wonderful plays and exciting plays through the back line as we did last week.
Yeah, you can see there that the footing down this end of the field is
Tyson does well, though, to get the boot on it. And
he did, yes. You also got the sun in your eyes, too.
Yes, yeah.
Which can be a massive factor.
Yeah.
McGee into half now.
And Duffy acting fly. Cut out to Barrel. Good tackle from Cole. He's injecting himself well into the game there. That is the opposite number, though. Pat Tuidraki, he's no slouch.
He's just hungry for the ball there.
He is, Matt Cole. He nearly got the turnover.
Yeah, lucky not to be pinged for playing the ball on the ground there.
Eventually, Gungahlin got it back to Dobson. Rolando on the ground in back play, just getting a little bit of attention. He's moving around, though, so hopefully he's okay. Alex Small looked like there was a bit of a knock-on, but Royals penalised for offside.
Very generous advantage there, but we'll take it. It's called last feet from the previous ruck.
Rolando still out of play. Just getting a bit of attention. Looks like he's moving his head around a bit. Hopefully he's appealing to get back on the ground, asking the docs to let him go. Seems alright. Speaking of appealing against your injury, it's heartbreaking watching another club rugby player last night getting his debut in the Brumbies side against Reds and then not 5 minutes in having to leave the field. I'm talking about Ben Hine. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. I was at the game. The school team I had were playing in the pre-match Matt Giddo Cup, and yeah, he's had some great form for the club. And I was reading about him. I'm actually on holidays at the moment, so I was having a coffee and read of the paper. Teacher's life.
Oh, to be a teacher, yes.
And yeah, great story. I mean, he played for Brisbane City last year in the NRC, and something like out of a movie. He packed up everything into his car and drove down and quit his job. And
it was very Hollywood.
Had a crack. It was, it was one of those stories that give hope to young blokes. And he had a great start. I mean, he caused the first turnover of the game, and he was good line speed, aggressive in defence, and then heartbreaking for the poor guy to come off after just 5 minutes. I think what's happening here with Pedro is that the assistant referee is saying he needs to have an assessment because of a head knock. It's one of the new laws brought in for player safety.
Yep.
So even though Pedro thinks he's okay, the assistant ref is saying got to go off the field for an assessment. So
Ben Johnson injecting himself there. A few discussions. Pedro not too happy, but those are the laws, as you say, Andrew, and I think ultimately they're there to protect the players' well-being, which is first and foremost in this tough game.
Yeah, well, one of the telltale symptoms of a concussion is argumentative and not wanting to come off the field, and I think that's why they brought that in. So we're playing on here. Kieran, the Eagles looking to drive off the line-outs. Royals yet to make a sub, so they're playing with 14 for this little patch.
If they take themselves over the line here, wouldn't be the first time we've seen Gungahlin make use of a rolling maul this season. They did it against Royals twice in a near comeback earlier this year in the match of the round. That ball no good. Yeah, Pat Tuidraki attempting a field goal. They must have been playing advantage.
Yeah, we had a penalty advantage there. I think Paddy is much better ball in hand. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think it was about round 6 that these two teams met at Phillip Oval, and Royals had the win in the end. They were the better side on the day. Gungahlin, if they had another 5 or 10 minutes, they would have beaten them because they came home like a steam train. And 2 of the 4 tries they scored to get themselves back to the 33-27 final score were from this position right here, the rolling maul at the line out. Let's see if they go to it again.
Yeah, when a rolling maul's on, it's almost impossible to stop. As you saw last night, the Brumbies Reds, there was several tries came from it.
And here it is again. Royals doing very well to push them towards the sideline, though. There's not that forward momentum that you usually see, and eventually they're taken down. Looks like they've lined up for the ruck.
And yeah, indeed, they've forced a turnover there. A collapsed maul. Ball taken in by Eagles.
And a few handshakes there, both sides congratulating each other on how well they did.
They're trying to work out who's making souffle for dessert.
I see.
Yeah, it's always a heated topic, that one.
You know, there's so many good cooks in both sides. I understand they'd want to take the reins there.
Yeah, let's just hope we avoid any MasterChef cook-offs today. See some guys spending some time in the sin bin. In case you haven't worked it out, we're using cooking as an analogy for lunches.
What year is it that you teach there? I quite enjoy calling they had an inaugural Australian Defence Force up against the Australian Police Service yesterday. It's the first time the two teams had ever clashed, as this scrum looks very strong against Royals. They had the loose head knock on against Gungahlin, though, at the back end there. All he had to do was pick it up and go over. Mitch Ward had an opportunity to score and get the Gungahlin Eagles on the board for the first time, but little knock on was spotted by the referee.
Oh, it's very difficult with that many moving bodies in there to try and pick the ball up.
Yeah, yesterday the AFP, not the AFP, the Australian Police Service up against the Australian Defence Force. It was an arresting game.
Defence was the key. Was it a lockout? Or did anyone steal a try?
You could say the police had the upper hand when they had them on the ground. Another dominant scrum from Gungahlin. They've switched it on now. Looks like they've got themselves over, and the first 5 points come off the back of...
Yeah, it's a penalty, that one of the confusing signals in rugby. Don't get me wrong, I was hoping his arm was about 10 degrees straighter, but I think we might have another scrum here, Kieran.
Just for something different.
Yes. Yeah, once you get a bit of ascendancy in the scrum, you've got to maximise it.
Oh, I get to be excited, Andrew. I like to see points. I like to see a close game. Eagles need to score here if they want to get themselves any chance of winning this game.
Oh, without doubt. You've got to convert field position and pressure into points. This is probably this little patch here is the best chance they've had so far.
If you missed the first half, Royals scored 2 tries. Both from long range. And the one penalty was kicked over, so that's how we've got to 17 points to 0. And Gungahlin have spent the last 4 minutes in this position. This is about the 3rd scrum we've had. And on at least one occasion we thought they were in. The patch of dirt that they're standing on doesn't seem to be too turned up, but it could be deceiving. The whole ground is a little worse for wear after some rain in recent weeks.
Yeah, clean ball, Eagle.
Rocky Aloha gets over the top. Does he get the ball down? There's cheers. There's a hand up in the air, and this time it's not a penalty, it's a try. Gungahlin Eagles get on the board, and, well, I daren't call it, but maybe. Game on.
Yeah, sometimes miracles happen, Kieran. Jesus walked on water and Fred Hollows cured the blind, but you're not going to stop Rocky from that position.
I wouldn't have even backed Steve Sione, the other number 8, to get in front of him there and stop him. Rampaging had enough for him to build up some pace, and the poor winger, I believe it was Seth Going,
he wasn't going anywhere but backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That easily is one of my favourite surnames for a player ever. Just so many puns. So I apologise to our listeners. They're going to get worse.
If you're not a dad yet, Andrew, you're going to make a good one.
It is something... as soon as I graduated university, I think as soon as you're a teacher, you just inherit dad jokes. I'm not sure how, but yeah.
I think it's in the signature. You have to sign off on it, don't you?
Oh, it's one of
as a carer of young people, yeah.
Yeah, we're giving away some free batteries after the game, Kieran. They're free of charge.
Stop it.
Sorry.
We just lost about 40 listeners. This one comes just left of the uprights. I believe that was Jamie Cotts who was taking the kicking. Hard to see from this side of the field.
Yeah, it was. They had a kicking challenge on Thursday night at training. I don't know why I didn't get the call up. I mean, yeah. But it looks like Cotsy's one out.
No doubt you are nailing them from all parts.
Oh, I'm that good. Just ask me, Kieran. Don't worry.
Fig jam. A knock on from Connor O'Byrne. The pressure from Tom Staniforth. Footstep phobia, I would suggest there. And the short kick-off works for Royals on this occasion.
Yeah, that was a murderous. Jeez, what a great restart there. You can see the ball. It looks like a brown cake of soap. It's coming low and at your head. There's not much you can do there.
There's as much mud as synthetic materials in there at the moment.
So it looks like we've got Going playing 9, and I think they've brought on Vesti, one of the second grade players outside. So not only does he have a good last name, he's also versatile, playing scrum half now, Mr. Going.
There he is. And that is because earlier Pedro Rolando was taken from the field. And not happy about it too. He had an injury that needed attending to under the rules of the game.
Just looking at Pedro, he's I don't think we'll see him again today. That's a big loss for Royals there. He's having a cracker.
Seth Going does very well to take it up to the line himself, not scared to take a run from his first set piece at scrum half, but he was caught on his own. And good defence from Gungahlin.
Yeah, referee's got him there for not releasing the ball. He just fell awkwardly and kind of fell in what they call laying the egg, which unfortunately you can't do anymore. So, good news for Eagles fans though. It looks like we're going to be kicking down. Only a small territorial gain, but every game's a win.
12 points the difference. 2 converted tries will get them back in. Well, we'll get them the lead for the first time this game. Gungahlin Eagles down on the scoreboard, but in this half so far, they're up in field position and possession. Certainly looking the dominant side. As you say, that loss, Pedro Rolando from scrum half, is a big one for Royals. Can they get it together? Pat Tuidraki certainly hopes not. He takes it up to the advantage line.
Another shout out to Brisbane, Mr. Tim Cedric. Hello, sir. One thing I was going to say, I haven't seen Pat Tuidraki shut down so well. Normally he at least beats the first, if not the second or third defender as well.
As Jamie Cotts beats 2 now, and 3 and 4. He's got no support. It's a Royals player on his inside. I believe that was Ash Vest there in the number 21 jersey, cleaning it up and shutting him down eventually. He was almost an another pass he looked, but he didn't think. But they do get the field position because a knock on at the ruck there. Exciting player, Jamie Cotts. Love to watch him make a break like that.
Yeah,
if only there was someone on his inside that could keep up.
Great bit of gamesmanship there from Vesti. He's done the odd, yeah, mate, pop. Many a good player has fallen for that one in the past.
If only there was a hooker with that amount of speed on the field. Andrew?
Oh, I mean, easily. If that had gone into the hands of either hooker, we're talking try time.
Yeah, naturally.
Alex Small, Connell McInerney, they back themselves with their speed. As would any hooker, any self-respecting seagoing hooker.
They're certainly the anchor of our game.
Just had another request for a shout-out there, Kieran, because they didn't have the volume on, which I don't know how I feel about that.
That's a bit harsh. Did they have it on originally and decide to turn it off, or were they incapable of using the technology in front of them?
Well, I think it must have been my 28th dad joke that made them turn it down.
I see.
So to Hawley and the boys at the George Harcourt, there you go.
If you don't have Andrew Withers' direct line, it's 04... No, I'm kidding. Use hashtag JIDC16 if you'd like to drop us a line and have your say. I hope you're enjoying the action here today. We're getting into the business end of the season, round 14. After this, we've got 15, 16, 17, and then it's finals time. And if last year's anything to go by, it should have professional status, that's for sure. There was nail-biter after nail-biter, and it all ended in a Royals victory after the siren against Vikings.
Yeah, as I said, I was at that game. I think it was your call as well, Kieran. Commentated perfectly.
Yeah, I had the... I wouldn't say perfectly.
Oh.
I had the honour of calling that game. It was a fantastic match. And unfortunately, the commentator's tool wasn't up to the task right at the end. Rocky Aloha pulls it out the back of the scrum. Doesn't get far, though. Good defence from Royals. And one out now. Tui Draki shut down.
Great
Connolly was on the inside. He makes a break now. Tui Draki's backing up again. Does well to hold on to the ball. He had to get rid of it, though, because the ruck formed. But there was no one there. And Helgeson again. He's had a fantastic game despite no highlights. Rocky Aloha gives it out. And on his outside was none other than the club captain, Ben McGee, playing on the wing.
No, that was Alex Small, the hooker, doing what every good hooker does, seagulling, and scoring some meat in the corner.
There you go. You got better eyes than me, Andrew Withers.
I just want to give a quick mention to Jake Helgeson. He dead set did the splits at the base of that ruck.
Yes.
Picked the ball up and gave a 20-metre pop pass. Unreal scenes.
He's been everywhere today. Everywhere they've needed him. Okay, now I'm going to say it. It is game on. 7 points the difference, and they can get within a converted try if this one goes over.
I keep telling you, Kieran, it's the lucky end of the field. How's my maths? 58 points in second grade were scored down that end of the field, and so far today, again, every single point scored up that end.
You called it early. You said it early, and maybe when we were saying that Dan Atkins was pulling his hair out, he wasn't, because he knew this might be the case. It's where the favourite lies. Jamie Cott's lining this one up. He was unsuccessful to the left-hand side of the post last time.
Well, that is the exact spot that he banged 5 in a row on Thursday night at training. So, come on, Cotty.
A little less mud on the ball I would have expected. That one has gone up and over.
He had the pitching wedge out there, not the driver, but it got there just enough.
Like a surfer just getting over the lip of a cresting wave. Relief there.
That's morale boosting that there for any team. When your kicker pulls one of those out.
17 points to 12. This one, another attempt at that low kick-off to the short side.
Yeah, very well taken there from
Chris Coyle, it was. Yeah. Rocky Aloha. Ward. Tui Draki playing 10.
Solid contact in their defence.
And O'Byrne now.
Got numbers here,
Helgeson,
they can get it.
First receiver. Good run. Pesky at the breakdown there was... I couldn't quite see who it was at the back there, but good work from Royals to slow that down. There was a bit of momentum on the back there, but he was penalised in the end.
Referees do not like it when you attack the halfback like that. They want to see free-flowing rugby. Certainly a lift in intensity from the Eagles here. And that can happen. A couple of quick tries. It gets, as I said, gets the morale.
This one doesn't look like it's going to go out, does it? Maybe? Yeah, it does eventually. Good. Definite swing in momentum. You can feel the intensity lifting to the right-hand side where the Eagles crowd is, and over here, where we're sitting, about on the halfway line, is quiet. I can feel the storm coming. The Royals men. Tui Draki, a little bit of a limp as he runs back into the line. Let's hope he's okay.
He's tough, Paddy. He'll be okay. distinct drop in temperature, Kieran. My fingers are dead set frozen. As Small goes to the front of the line out there. Eagles set up.
Maybe two hands on the microphone there, Andrew.
Looking to bounce it through.
Good pick and go there now from
Again, Staniforth
Gungahlin.
dominant at the breakdown. You can see him.
Rocky Aloha now. Royals defence broken. Gungahlin have noticed it, put a kick through. Ben Johnson's there to try and clean it up. He knocks on. Can Tui Draki pick it up and take it over the line? They're still going now. One away, and it's Garno who will get over the line. Fantastic show and go. The Gungahlin Eagles, they shut the gap again.
You'll have to forgive me, Kieran. I almost went like that Icelandic football commentator for a second there. That was fantastic. And again, that lift in intensity, the lucky end of the field, just hunger, pure, whatever you call it. Eagles over to level it up here, 17-all.
It's almost like Royals are playing uphill at the moment. There's been a definite shift in the air here. What a wonderful game we've had. 17-0 was the score at half-time, and Royals haven't looked anything like the side they were in the first half. But equally, Gungahlin have completely shifted the way they're playing. They're dominant.
Yeah, and again, it's come down to territory and possession. In the first half, we saw Royals playing the much smarter game, and they held on to the ball and they kicked it down where it needed to be, and Eagles have reversed it in this half, and sure enough, 17 points.
Cots again. Not going to miss that one. Over the black dot. And for the first time this afternoon, Gungahlin Eagles take the lead. 19 points to 17 here at Nichols Oval.
Certainly do have a game on our hands here.
We've talked about him a lot, but I reckon they'll be looking to Tom Staniforth as a bit of a leader here, the Brumbies player in the Royals side, to step it up. That kick a bit deeper than they were hoping. They were looking for another short kick off, and Rocky Aloha taking it up to the line. Tui Draki now, he looks like he's shifted into 10. He's played that first receiver role quite a bit, and Garner maybe out to 12. As Royals quick defence again, Matt Cole, another player who could be the difference. He's had a couple of breaks that haven't turned into points yet, but threatening all afternoon. Wayne Southwell, I know, has big raps on Matt Cole.
This is danger, kicking to Johnson in space.
Johnson, a bit of speed now. Hits a brick wall, though.
Also known as the Rock. Yeah, right.
Cut out pass now to, that's Selwood there.
This is prime field position for Royals here. To slow ball, they'll grind it through the forwards.
And it's the first time this half that they've had control of the ball this close to the line. And that one went through Steve Sione. Matt Cole had some space, but it was knocked on. Oh, Royals fans.
Yeah, the ref was Johnny on the spot
happy
there. I tell you what, if he held on to it, he was going to take some stopping. He had a 10-metre run-up, and
it's almost like Matt Cole expected that to happen. I think that the play was intended for him. It was meant to be a cutout pass, but it clipped Steve Sione on the way through, and referee ruled a knock-on.
yeah, unfortunately he couldn't hang on there, so we've got an Eagles scrum. And it wouldn't surprise me to see this thing fly downtown.
The ground looking a little bit more cut up there. Maybe just the light. Gungahlин's scrum winning this time again.
Oh, it's an ugly pass from the back.
And Connolly does well off his shoelaces. Tries to pop it up, but there's a man from Royals' side.
Dean Paragali, I think he's again called the, just pop it, mate.
Yeah.
Straight to him.
Selwood.
So, strike two here for Royals. Get another turn in this field position.
Cole. Penders
Yep.
pops it up, and Cole again floats it out to Stewart, and Stewart off the left step beats two. He won't get much further though. Pops it back. The support is there. Royals retain possession. Gungahlon's defence looking very strong, though. They're going to have to be much quicker at the breakdown, Royals, if they want to build some pressure here and put phase after phase.
Yeah, very slow ball there, just slowing the ball down at the breakdown. So Royals have held possession but lost territory, and that's... yeah.
And a knock on there from McInerney, it was, trying to be a little bit too tricky, perhaps. The spin out nearly worked to gain a few metres and put Gungahlon on the back foot, but... again, Gungahlon too good in defence in this part of the field. Where are they going to look to, do you think, Andrew, for that try that will regain the lead, Royals? Or are they going to try and set themselves up to get that penalty, which will make it a one-point game?
Well, I think in these conditions, as we've seen, you won't see anything special. The first try of the match was probably the cleanest. As I said, it was something straight from the training park. And since then, the ball's got slippery and the players are a bit fatigued, so I think it's just going to be a simple case of who wants it or who's willing to grind out victory today. So I think you'll look to see some big, powerful ball runners in the forwards and just looking to get quick ball and try and set some of these backs in space.
2 points the difference. I encourage everyone who's watching on the live stream now to jump on Twitter, use the hashtag JIDC16 and have your say as to who you think will win this game. Royals stepping it back up after a lacklustre start to this half. Gungahlon closing the gap and then going 2 points ahead with that most recent try.
Yeah, Gungahlon happy just to roll the ball downfield there and try to play the game in their half. It's always a good decision, I think, especially with defence like that.
And cut out pass from Tyson, as you said, Andrew, is shut down. They're very fast off the line now. Tom Staniforth not able to gain any metres, driving them into that mud.
This pressure in defence has caused the error.
Tyson trying something from scrum half. The ball's loose.
And there we go.
Selwood does well. And a knock on though.
Yeah, so a similar story to a few phases before where Royals were in possession but they were going backwards due to the aggressive line speed from Eagles, and from that pressure in defence they've caused the error. So I think that's certainly something I know for a fact that they practice at training, that mentality, that aggression in defence, and it's paying off for them here. It's very hard to counter as well when you've got that strong aggressive line speed.
And it's the intensity. They've basically shifted roles, Gungahlon and Royals. That intensity that you mentioned in the line speed is absent for Royals at the moment, but it wasn't there for Gungahlon in the first half. Also, their scrum is looking much nicer this half. Look at that forms, just holding them. Royals scrunched up, Gungahlon, completely different story.
Certainly a tale of two halves. Look to be a different team.
And scrum half there from
Cotsy in space. The man is
Rocky, and Cots just touches the chalk.
Foot in touch. Ref coming back. Yeah, I thought as much there. Be a penalty from the scrum there. Which that one I can say, when you have a dominant scrum marching them back like that, the obligation of the other team is to stay square. And I saw number 3 there. Just again, pure physics got worked off and lead Eagles. Kick it downtown. What do you think? Will they drive or are they going to try something new, Kieran?
I can't imagine them going for the drive this far out, but I could be wrong. They've been willing to chance their hand here, but I guess when you look at the field, the mud that they have to run through kind of shuts down the backline option.
Certainly not conducive to backline razzle-dazzle. I think we will see a drive here. Yep.
There it is.
Royals have been very good at countering it, though.
They are. They're up to the task.
This one, they've got a bit of a roll.
A few bodies on the ground, though, making it a little bit more difficult for Gungahlon to get themselves over.
Yeah, referee playing advantage there.
Kind of reminds me of a Game of Thrones scene in there.
Just hopefully not the Red Wedding.
No, it all ends well. Tuidraki now
still got advantage,
linking with
played.
Connolly again, and Connolly on his feet, driving. Ward And Cots with a chance ball out to no one.
Okay, yeah.
But playing the advantage.
Yeah. Again, a very generous advantage, and the Royals faithful here letting Sir know about that. But the whistle's blown. He's not going to change.
They rarely do. Fans keep trying, though. Keep trying. I wanted to mention as well, you might know him. I would expect that you do. Jordan Scanes.
Yes.
Had a big day today. Played his 100th game for Gungahlin. Big shout out to Jordan.
Oh, there you go. Jordan had a bit of a hiatus from the club. He was first grade 2000. He played in the 2007 grand final. Actually, and we're certainly very lucky to have him back in third grade. Big Geordie, and also another player, James Gregory, the bunny, celebrated his 100th game today as well.
I wonder if their hands were as cold as ours playing. Whew. Chilly now as Rocky tries that short side play again. He's hard to stop, as we know. He's still going. And into touch.
Good luck trying to differentiate what happened there.
It's on the far side of the field from where we are, right next to the camera, so same view as you at home. But waiting for the referee's signal.
Yeah.
The assistant referee has their right arm up.
Just to remind everyone, the score is 19-17 Eagles. Apparently it's wrong on the screen.
Trying for that rolling maul again, and Royals have worked it out. Few cheers on Royals' side, and that's why they get the turnover and rewarded for their good defence. So 19 points to 17. And around 10 minutes left in this game. Royals have to do something special to get themselves deep out of this half of the field. They had a 17-0 lead at half-time. It didn't last long, though, because within a few minutes of the second half, Gungahlin found a way around using their speedy backline up that left wing. And
the Eagles assert their dominance on this scrum. Yeah, here we go. And that's a tight head.
They've had it all day.
Short side. Jeez,
have they turned it over?
We've got an Eagles ball here. Well, they went in with it. Trying to grind it out here. Just trying to suck in a few defenders from the back line, and then they'll spread it wide.
Big effort needed from Royals at the moment.
Yeah, some very ill-disciplined play.
Big tackle there. The number one, Filetti Kahia.
Referee playing
on the scrum half, and
Royals side entry at that breakdown there. That was cynical. I've seen him go to the pocket in these situations. I think he is. Yeah, that was very, very ill-disciplined from one of their big boys there.
Filetti Kahia.
Yeah, at this time of the match, in that situation, I think, unfortunately, the ref had no other choice.
Being told to go to the sin bin for 10 minutes, and that'll play out the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not Filetti Kahia. It's our one and only Tom Staniforth leaving the field. Just double check, he may be being replaced.
No, it was definitely
it's Tommy Staniforth.
Big long limb reach around the back of the ruck there.
There you go.
Right in front of the ref. No choice, unfortunately, Tommy.
So they'll play 14 men for about the remainder of this match. As I said before, we don't have a clock up in our commentary position, but based on the time, we're expecting about 10 minutes left of play. Tom Staniforth not happy with that decision as he leaves the field, shaking his head. And Royals, a lot to do here.
Yeah, man. Cracking scrum there from Royals, a man down.
Much better than it has been before. Garner. And Cots had to reach back and get to the field. It was a knock-on, says the referee, and a much better position for the scrum this time for Royals. They'll like a bit of breathing space. They've been in that pocket for about, be close to 15 minutes now. That play has been deep down there.
Yeah, Eagles have been camped in their territory. wouldn't mind just taking this opportunity to plug the Gungahlin Eagles Charity and Ladies Day on the 16th of July.
Absolutely, go for it.
It's in support of the Cancer Council, and a major sponsor for the day is Prestige International. So big thank you to Prestige International, and hopefully we raise a bit of money for the Cancer Council on that day. Also mention the Golf Day again on the 8th of July, sponsored by Ray White. And I'll stop the shameless plugs now, Kieran. We'll just talk footy.
Without it, club rugby wouldn't go ahead. So
absolutely,
it's fantastic to see.
From Eagles there.
Steve Sione does well to shut it down and take it to ground, and Gungahlin get penalised at the breakdown. So a piggyback for Royals. It's kind of what they needed.
Absolutely,
they haven't had the rub of the green for a little while. This one not going to find touch. George Stewart has to gather it, and Pat Tuidraki's there. There's no support for the Royals player, George Stewart, on the ground. Matt Cole is there now. He picks it up and tries to restructure that ruck. Oh, eventually they do it. They needed that to go to touch, though. That's a poor mistake. Another little coach killer. Jamie Bodman, the skinniest player on the field, up against big Rocky Aloha.
I have not seen that before, where the player not finding touch, but to be regathered by his own team.
It's hard to get any distance on that ball now. Both balls have been soiled. Matt Cole swung around, dragged into the mud.
Yeah, good ball and all tackle there from Chris Coyle. He has been very impressive today, Matt Cole.
And Connell McInerney needs to release it. He rolled himself onto his belly. Rocky Aloha just on the side there. Steve Sione not happy, throwing themselves at each other. And spinning his tyres there, Rocky Aloha. Oh, no, and devastating for Royals fans. Selwood drops it there.
Yeah, you got to feel for Hightower on that one. It's a big brown cake of soap, that ball, and he's sitting in a swamp. But Eagles will make the most of this, hopefully. Not long left on the clock. As you've seen, it's been a bit of a slugfest these last few minutes. But in these conditions, there's not a lot you can do.
No.
It's just going to be literally whoever is hungrier and more aggressive at the breakdown.
Just a couple of minutes to take a breather. Rocky Aloha getting a little bit of attention. Not unexpected the way he was throwing himself into that last ruck. And the scrum will pack down in the mud there. I've also been very impressed by Jake Helgeson this afternoon, backing it up from his man-of-the-match performance last week. He made a break that a centre would be proud of, and offloaded to Ben McGee for one of their tries. And today he's been super impressive just everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely, Kieran. Very blessed with depth in the back row this year, and as Dan Atkins mentioned, there's no real safe spots in any grade.
No.
But Helgo has certainly put his hand up as I'd argue the form back rower of the club. Leading from the front, he's aggressive, he's explosive, but he's also a really nice guy as well, Kieran. So let's hope he can get the victory today.
Yeah. A lot of time for Jake. Have a good chat with him whenever I come down to Gungahlin Games to call the match of the round here. And one interesting thing to note is that Coach Dan Atkins actually hasn't made any nominated changes yet this late into the game. As Mitch Ward comes out the back, and Tuidraki now has it. He had Barrel on his outside, but good move not to go there.
That was impressive from Stewart there, that winger. Straight over the ball. Any open side flanker in the world would be proud of that movement.
Good core strength to stay on top of it.
Once again, Eagles camp down in this half, just looking for that killer blow. This game, it will go down to the wire, Kieran.
Can't be long left. Only a few minutes left on the clock, and Royals find touch just short of the 10-metre line on their side of the field. They'll be hoping to get clear of that mud patch where that lineup will end up.
See the ball boy's giving the ball a wipe with the towel, and it's gone from dark brown to light brown.
Not much you can do in this stage. Connell McInerney penalised at the line out. Gungahlin.
Yeah, so called it playing you in the air or jumping across or something. That's a telltale penalty for Royals, so you don't give them too many piggybacks.
really struggling to find any distance, the kickers. Connell McInerney, more mud on his face than skin at the moment. Selwood does very well to snatch that one out of the air, and Cole now is taken out low. Helgeson's tackle slowed down that speedy play. They were trying to spread it wide, was my feeling, but they didn't. Thanks to Helgeson's tackle, they continue on that right side attack. Connell McInerney takes it up to the halfway line. And playing scrum half now is Harry Tyson, giving Seth Going a rest.
Another penalty here for Royals.
Matt Cole again.
He's playing advantage here.
And one away. Royals still have the ball. They need to retain possession. The clock's ticking down. Not long to go. That 2-point difference for Royals, who had a 17-point lead, will be heartbreaking if they can't fix this one up. George Stewart's going to try and pick this one up, but it's a bit too wet. Flies over the top of it, comes off a toe, and then gains a couple of metres. But Gungahlon's there to sweep and pick it up. And
off the hook here, Eagles, I hope. Yeah, advantage over from that penalty, and they've great option. They towed it through. Could go quickly.
Benny Johnson wants a quick one. No. Just inside the 10-metre line.
Well, this is it here, Kieran. This is, I think, their last throw of the dice. Their first entry into the Eagles' territory in a long, long time. Got a player down in back play as well.
Yeah, I'd be calling close to 30 minutes since they've been in this side of the field.
Absolutely. It's been a brutal, brutal game.
It's like seeing old friends for the first time in a while. You know the faces, but they look so different with the mud on them. Down in those rucks. Tyson does well to clean that one up, and Cole again, who's been brilliant today for Royals. If they win, I reckon Cole's a contender for player of the match.
Absolutely. I think we've got an advantage here from the assistant referee, perhaps. Something from the line-out.
So if they're aware of it, they'll be willing to throw it around. Steve Sione finds Dobson's all over the place.
It's been a huge defensive effort here from the Eagles.
Royals have shown their defensive prowess in the last 20 minutes or so, and they were going to come back to that advantage. And so now it's Gungahlon to show their worth.
Yeah, so the call once again is playing the man in the air. It's a bit of an unnecessary one, and it can go either way. So what do you think? The Royals line up the
my gosh, I don't know. What a decision to make.
I think he is putting faith in his kicker, but Pedro was kicking and he's off.
And he's pointing for the post. There it is.
They're having a crack.
3 points will get him in front by the one, obviously. If you
how's this, Kieran? We said Mr. Tyson's on debut.
Certainly not on debut, sorry. Yeah, no. Harry Tyson, not on debut, but out of position. He usually plays in the centres or on the wing.
Oh, right, okay.
And as a fly half, doing very well today.
I was going to say, what a debut. Can you just step up and kick the match winner for us, please?
Oh, it's a long way with that mud on the boot. We're close enough for them to hear us.
We're going to take some kicking, I'll say that.
Give him a moment.
Dead silent.
Oh, it might have the legs. No, it's gone to the right.
Sprayed away to the right.
Ben McGee is calling for them to throw it out, kick it out.
Takes it dead, and that's full time.
And there it is, full time on the whistle. Ben McGee knew something that everyone else didn't, who had the ball there at the back, and Gungahlon win this game. What a comeback, Andrew Withers. Truly a game of two. It hasn't been raining, but the field has been torn up after a number of weeks of tough, heavy rain here in Canberra. We are in South Goulburn for this game today, and the conditions are absolutely beautiful. Sunny skies. Andrew, you couldn't ask for better, except this will make it a little bit difficult for the forward packs today.
Yeah, very, very choppy out there. The field never had a chance to recover after the Vikings game a few weeks ago. I've heard the expression, happy as a pig in mud. There was 30 pigs in mud that day. It was very sloppy, but good to see the sun out, and hopefully the teams don't let the conditions let them down.
Absolutely. Some speed in both these sides as we see the man of the match last week, Jake Helgeson, take a hit up, and he earns his side a penalty after Royals were picked up for not rolling away from the ruck.
Yeah, early on we've seen some good intent from Gungahlin, some good line speed for Royals, so should be in for some big, heavy collisions today.
Just the one change for Gungahlin today, which is great to see this late in the season. Connor O'Byrne comes into the side, and Sam O'Leary was the one who's been left out. He's away at the moment, but it's great inclusion to have Connor back.
Yeah, definitely. We actually had the rare occurrence last week in 4th grade where you had the first grade captain and the club captain coming back through injury through the grades. It's good to have that depth in the club. Makes everyone accountable.
Absolutely.
They'll be pumped to be getting out there today.
I mentioned Rocky Aloha. He's just taken it up, and he had some speed when he hit the line, but Royals were up to the task, knocked him back a few metres, and then that second backup tackle was just as hard. Good speed from Gungahlin early, but they're being matched in defence by Royals. Ben Johnson, the skipper, picks it up off the turf, looking for Seth Going, but it found Bodman in the end. I should say Matt Cole. He's one of 2 players over from New Zealand joining the side late in the season. Matt Cole, red hair, at inside centre today, and a penalty goes to Royals. And the other player over from New Zealand, with a lot of promise, Wayne Southwell, the Royals coach, has big raps on Seth Going. He's wearing 14 today and will stand opposite to the other speedster on the field, Jamie Cotts. Can't wait to see him in action this afternoon.
Oh, that's probably one of the greatest names for a winger that I've ever heard. Going, gone. Down the sideline now.
You've given me an idea, mate. Just make a note of that.
Mate, there'll be a prize in it for you if you can put that one in the call today.
Royals line out looks good early. Through hands, Bodman has it now. Cut out pass. And some speed on the wing there. George Stewart beats one. Didn't need to beat the other. He had enough pace to get around him, and some cheers you can hear around us at the moment. Royals get first on the board through the left wing speedster in George Stewart. Wonderful start for the visitors here this afternoon, and the defending premiers not scared to throw it out wide despite the muddy conditions.
Yeah, Kieran, that was straight from the training park there. Throw to 6, 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass try.
Gungahlin will need to shore up their sliding defence. Good test for them early, and you know that they're capable of just doing the same. They did that against Vikings last week. They got the jump on them early. I would suggest, because it's the Gungahlin home ground, that Royals are actually the underdogs despite being defending premiers. Gungahlin have looked impressive all season in the first grade competition. They are real premiership contenders after knocking off Vikings last week and a few weeks ago Queanbeyan. So they've beaten every team this year so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That's certainly the belief in the club this year. Is you're not just here to make up the numbers. And
Pedro Rolando's kick is good, by the way, as we're talking there. Wonderful kick from the sideline early on.
Yeah, it's always a good test of the mark of a strong team is how you react after early points against. So we're looking to see a good hit back from the Eagles here.
Luke Duffy trying to bounce it into the turf there and didn't quite get anything off it. Regathered, and this actual attempt was good. Matt Cole now dumps it back. No scrum half, so Jamie Bodman acts and gives it back to Paragelli. Pedro Rolando, Staniforth, one hand away for Folletti.
Yeah, Royals actually going backwards here. Some good line speed from the Eagles. Look to see a kick out of trouble, yep.
And this one goes high. Jamie Cotts does very, very well to have 1 foot out. Forces the out on the full call from the assistant referee on this near side touchline. Looking for a quick line out, but doesn't get it.
Yeah, experience beyond his years there from Mr. Cotts. Very, very smooth play. Perfect opportunity for the Eagles here to strike back.
From the set piece, as I mentioned before, they're very capable of striking with that fast back line. They decide this time to opt for the maul. And Rocky gets it out the back, comes to the left. And the scrum half's ball is no good. The fly half does very well though, and it eventually finds Duffy through Connolly, and he gives it back. They'll want to hold on to the ball here and build some pressure. not get too excited with that space. They are close to the line now. Pressure is building for Royals. Can their defence hold up early? This would be excellent for Gungahlin fans if they can knock off that deficit within minutes of Royals getting on the board.
Yeah, Royals slowing the ball down here with defence.
And Ben McGee hit hard. It was without the ball though. And a little bit of... I think they were hugging. Is that what they were doing there?
Yeah, just reminding each other what was for dinner this afternoon after the match.
Intense play early, as you can expect from these two sides who, against Queanbeyan and Vikings, are underdogs for the premiership, but more than capable of being there on the final day in August, on the final game in August for a shot at the premiership this year, which we're getting all too close to. Round 14, as I mentioned.
Well, as Royals showed last year, you're only as good as your last game, and they turned up to play in that magnificent finish from Ben Johnson under the post to take the flag. So I think both teams will be looking to put their best foot forward to be there come August.
Mitch Ward going to feed the scrum here. A little bit of a nicer patch of grass where they've set themselves, and it's been reflected by the quality of the scrum. Both sides holding up strong. Connolly has Duffy. Johnson's there to cover his opposite number though. Good tackle. Forces a turnover, but that's not the way that the referee saw it. He said that the Royals player wasn't releasing the man, and some sneaky little play there from Pedro Orlando, slowing it down, took the ball out the back and forced Gungahlin to come and collect it themselves.
Nothing wrong with a bit of Latino sneakiness from Pedro there. It was good cover defence from Ben Johnson there. He just needed to roll away. Eagles opting for the scrum again.
You're doing well to keep an eye on the action there, Andrew Withers, through the sticks underneath the camera. We are up here at Nichols Oval today for the Club Line Match of the Round, and it's a wonderful club rugby atmosphere. Plenty of people in the crowd. Those who are stuck around, and why wouldn't you on a beautiful winter's Canberra day? And Pat Tuidraki with a haircut gives it back on the inside. I think that was Connolly there. Mitch Ward tried to get it away quickly, does so, but it meant that Ben McGee was caught high. Forces himself to the ground, eventually gets there. Bit of a scrap at the ruck now, and a knock on in amongst it. So good pressure from Royals. Forces the error and gets themselves out of trouble.
Absolutely, Kieran. I'd say this is actually tropical conditions out here at windy Nichols. We're not famous for our good weather up here in sunny Gungahlin, but today the wind's kept away and the sun's out.
There's barely a breath this afternoon, which is uncharacteristic for this part of the world.
Well, let's not jinx that, we'll hope it sticks around.
Fall season Nichols, they say.
Yeah, a couple of key matchups today. I think we've got Luke Duffy and Ben Johnson both named in the NRC Viking squad.
Yep.
They'll be pushing each other for selection, which is always healthy.
Yeah, the two fullbacks. Both of them with their own strengths and weaknesses, but many more strengths than weaknesses. I love to watch them both play. Speedsters and fantastic ability to read the game. There he is, Ben Johnson with the ball now. Puts it on the boot. It's looking rather muddy. And gains a few metres past the halfway line is where the assistant referee will end up, by about 2.5 metres.
Yeah, there's one thing I know about Ben Johnson, he can certainly kick. We actually played Brumbies under 20s together, and our team had been together for a few years, ACT schoolboys, Brumbies under 19s, and under 20s training one day, and this bloke rocks up in a pair of boardies and a wife-beater singlet, strolls onto the pitch. G'day boys, how are you? And sure enough, 60 metres on his left and 70 metres on his right. The boy can play, don't you worry.
Eventually a good line out from Gungahlin. Royals read it well. Tom Staniforth was up there, but it made it through his hands like a Aussie rules goal. And Mitch Ward plays it out now. A big hit from Feletica here.
Just didn't quite get the arms in that one. I'm surprised he got away with that. Good carry from
Tom Staniforth, quick off the line. Offside was the call from the crowd, but the referee didn't see it that way. On the boot this time, the ball just sort of skids in the mud. Looking for support there was George Stewart, but he didn't have it. So he had to run it up himself, just short of the 22-metre line at the moment, 10-metre line at the moment.
I think that'll be a similar story today from both teams, Kieran. In these conditions, you just want to play territory and field position.
Quick hands now to Staniforth, and Staniforth's ball was a bit of a floater. It found Seth going, but he didn't go very far. Rolando playing scrum half now to Staniforth. Big addition, Staniforth, despite the Brumbies missing a few back rowers. And Steve Sione has a break now. He gives it out to the fast Seth going for the first time this afternoon. We see Royals in some space, and it's Pedro Rolando who's going to score. Another 5 points on the board for the visitors.
Yeah, some very crisp counter-attack there from Royals.
Made possible by big Steve Sione. When you find a forward on a winger like that, it's often the case that they're able to get that offload away. Seth Going timed his run beautifully, and then the loud call came from Pedro Rolando on the inside, and they were able to get near the post, make it a bit easier for himself to knock this one over. Another 2 points.
Yeah, bodies in motion, support play. It's very hard to defend.
So Royals extend their lead. Just a few minutes into this game here at Nichols Oval. Thanks for joining us as Pedro Rolando joins... Pedro Rolando lines up this kick. And it's good. Another 2 points. 14 points to nil. Royals lead Gungahlin Eagles in the Club Lime match of round 14. It is sponsored by Club Lime. Another sponsor of ours is Hans Superdry, making this live stream possible. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Kieran Deck, and with me this week is Andrew Withers.
Yeah, speaking of sponsors, Kieran, I might give a shameless plug out to Ray White Real Estate Belconnen. They're one of our major sponsors for our golf day next Friday, the 8th of July. So if you're around the Gold Creek Country Club, come down for a hit.
Don't mind if I do, especially if it's conditions like this. I have enough trouble when there's no wind.
Yeah.
Pedro Rolando, as I mentioned, playing scrum half today in the absence of Brent Hamlin, who injured himself on a trip with the Brumbies to Mauritius for the World Club Tens competition. A little bit of a fairy tale story there. Fantastic to see club rugby players getting plucked out. We'll get on to that theme in a moment, Andrew, as Pedro Rolando plays a bit of ping-pong rugby, clears that one, and gains a few metres for his side, winning the wall there of field position.
I'd call that a draw. Yeah, Kieran, it's a line out on halfway.
Let's go with a draw. Hard to argue with the stats.
Yes. We just saw there with Duffy on his return how slippery it is in the swamp down that middle channel of the pitch.
And if you can't see on the live stream how widespread that swamp is, as the hands go to Rocky and he runs up against a brick wall, Steve Sione. Now
rapid line speed.
Ben McGee.
It's going to be hard to come out of that. He hold on for dear life. Maul still moving. Yeah, collapse Maul there. A great defence from Staniforth.
Yeah, we were talking about the swamp where Luke Duffy kicked that ball from a moment ago. It's not all the way down the field, and it kind of gets easier to the left-hand side of the screen. A little less deep. And so certainly the team playing on the right-hand side of the screen will have their work cut out for them in defence today, especially at set-piece time. Halfway line is where they are right now, though, and Pedro Rolando set to feed the scrum. Playing 10 for today for Royals is Harry Tyson, a rookie in the fly-half position, as is Dan Garner for Gungahlin, coming in for the injured James Lovell as that scrum collapses. Referee happy to reset it.
Dan's had a couple of very good seasons, the Eagles, in Colts not too long ago, and he's been steering second grade, who were very lucky to come back from a 17-0 deficit today to win 41-17. And Dan is very easily stepped in, as we saw last week, getting the victory over Vikings. So it should be a good battle of the so-called debutants today.
Yeah. Pedro again to feed the scrum. Right on the halfway line. And just this side here collapsing. And the free kick goes to Royals.
Not holding the weight was the decision there from the ref.
Staniforth now. Certainly when you see a Brumby player come back and join the club rugby competition, you can tell a little bit of extra pace and strength. Being matched at the moment by Gungahlin defence. Given back to Michael Copsey.
There's actually 3 members of the Royals team today that I coached back in the 2009 Brumbies under-15s. We've got Connell McInerney and hooker Joel Penders and Tom Staniforth, so it's great to see them progressing with their footy.
Wow, Connell McInerney was in that side. He doesn't seem old enough.
No.
He played under 20s last year.
Yep.
Tough rugby being played by both sides at the moment, and Gungahlin have been pinged for being a little bit too close to the ruck.
See, Royals look to kick downfield here and have an attacking line out maybe, or are they? Pedro's just testing the wind. I can take the shot.
He will take the shot. I wonder whether the turf would play a part in his decision making then. He's about in the centre of the field, so equal distance to both touchlines. But it also makes it tough to line up a three-pointer here, just patting down the turf. These are the conditions you battle with, though, in club rugby. It's all part of the game.
Yeah, and the conditions are the same for both teams. So
that's right.
It's a clean strike.
Gungahlin not moving. They didn't have to the left of the post, so no penalty there for Royals. The score remains 14 points to 0. Around 15 minutes into the first half here at Nichols Oval, Jamie Bodman to collect that restart from the 22. Takes it himself despite showing it to his winger. And Rolando Tyson. Searching ball finds Cole. On the outside of the boot was Cole. Looks like a beautifully weighted kick in the end. And Rocky Aloha was there to pick it up. He gave it off to Andy Barrell now, still going. And he flicks it up off the deck. Finds a Dobson brother. And intercepted now by Rolando. Possession has been switched over. Referee said there was no knock-on in there. And Johnson now in a wrestling match.
Yeah, perhaps could have set that one up, but they do say the offload is king, so we're willingness to throw it around. See what Royals come up with here.
Which is what we love to see. We love them chancing their arm because it makes for exciting rugby. Matt Cole now, the Kiwi boy, gives it off to the centre and Harry Tyson. And Harry Tyson needed support. Eventually it came in this form of Jamie Bodman.
Certainly a very handy addition, the red-headed Kiwi warrior there.
It's not his first break of the game. Just a chat here to the skipper, Mitch Connolly. Referee pinged them for a ruck offence.
Yeah, it was hands in the ruck there.
And a much easier kick on this occasion for Rolando, and probably a smart decision to go for the 3 points. Up 14-0 in the first half here at Nichols Oval. Royals have certainly had the advantage and the momentum here so far in the game. Gungahlin, very capable side.
Yeah, absolutely. Rugby can be one of the most simplest games, just about ball retention. You can't score tries without the ball. So I think Eagles will need to really work on their ball retention moving forward.
And this one just slides in, gave the Royals faithful a bit of a heart attack there, but another 3 points takes it out to 17-0. I tell you who had a good game last week in Gungahlon's victory over Vikings. It was the two Dobson brothers. They were destructive, especially around scrum time where Gungahlon dominated all day. Look forward to seeing them play a part again this afternoon.
Yeah, and they were both also successful in being named in the initial Vikings squad. So big raps for their performances so far. I think the Eagles need them to lift now because it's 17-0. Something has to happen.
And a bit of a Hail Mary attempt there from Jamie Cotts. Didn't have anyone behind him to pass to and wasn't willing to take it to the line himself. So decides to put it on the boot, trying to get a bit of field position. Ben Johnson was there, though, took the mark.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, BJ has a punishing kick. This could be a big territorial gain for Royals here. Oh, he sliced it. Maybe I should say that every time.
That's called the commentator's curse there. Welcome to the box. I put it on Isaac Thompson last week without intending to, I might say. He had a kick from the sideline to win it against Gungahlon, and I haven't seen a ball do it before. It swung in towards the post, and then at the last minute, some little wing on the outside of it fluttered away to the right-hand side, and Gungahlon won the game. So careful with that mouth there you've got there, Andrew.
Yeah,
You've got a lot of power. Jake Helgeson does very well to dive forward and take it on his chest to Tui Draki now, and he's fighting off
some great leg drive there from Paddy
Connolly. And Gungahlon continue their attack on the right hand side of the field. Good line speed again from Royals, forcing Gungahlon back, but offside this occasion. That's Tom Staniforth, who was pinged for coming around too fast, too early. Just taking his time to get back to the line. I wonder whether he is actually blowing a few, or if he's maybe foxing.
Oh, it's certainly an act from Stano.
You can't expect a professional rugby player to be blowing 20 minutes into a game. Although it is tough turf out there, it would be close to like running on sand, I would imagine. That ball not quite getting the distance. It's looking a little bit water and mud-logged now. Still in good field position now, Gungahlon.
Yeah, absolutely. Good friend of mine, he's a professional rugby player, and he said that coming back to club footy was always a bit tough because obviously you have that expectation. But in Super Rugby, you just do your job.
Yeah.
So we've already seen Stano kind of leading the line speed and everything today, so hopefully he does tire out. That'll be good for the Eagles. But you just grind it away here. There we go.
Oh, and there he is just there putting the hit on Helgeson, who was already halfway to the ground when he got to the line.
Yes, isolated there from the solo pick and drive. That's a coach killer, that one.
So not releasing the ball quick enough, and they'll get the piggyback out of their half now. Ben Johnson will get an opportunity to put it over the halfway line, and the old switcheroo. I'm going to take that back because it's actually Harry Tyson who gets the kick. Ben Johnson stripped of field kicking duties. That one right on the halfway line. We're back to square one.
Yeah, the Eagles forwards are certainly a proud bunch. I think they're getting slightly outdone at the moment, so hopefully the boys can muster and get some go forward.
That one swung as a line out. It moved towards Gungahlon, but it did start straight. Given to Pat Tuidraki now. Beats one, taken down by Matt Cole in the end. They continue down this short side to Cotts. And Cotts is hit hard by Jamie Bodman over the top. There was nothing Cotts could do to keep himself in the line of play there. Good defence by Royals again, shutting down that speed on the left wing here.
Yeah, some urgency in their cover defence there. They were swarming across. I don't think the Eagles should be too upset by that. We've made a 30-metre gain there. Just the banter has started, Kieran. My phone is a buzz.
Wonderful. I will mention, actually, I was going to do it before. If you'd like to have your say in today's game, we're watching the hashtag JIDC16. John Ident Cup 16, but the abbreviation of that. It's JIDC 16, if you'd like to have your say on today's game. maybe an observation on what's going on the muddy pitch today as Staniforth takes it up and gets the offload. He picks it up off the ground, acting scrum half now, Staniforth.
Got a knock on Eagles there, ref playing advantage.
And so Cole now to Johnson, quick hands. And a good tackle in the end there by Garner to shut down that play, which looked a little bit promising. Cole's pass made Johnson take it high, and that shut down what might have been a replay of what we saw from Steve Sione down this sideline earlier. So good defence again from Eagles, and they get to counter-attack now through the hands of Andy Barrell. Puts it on the boot.
Yeah, certainly an exciting player, Andrew Burrell, when he's in space. Oh, this is not good.
And Johnson gets ankle tapped.
Come on, Eagles.
Strong tackle in the end, but beautiful cover defence. They're all back in the line now, though, playing for each other. All the forwards running back nice and fast. Good to see that sort of commitment early on in the game, and hopefully it sticks around throughout the game. We get a tight contest here. Maybe a little knock on there, but Pedro Orlando still going.
Yeah, a little sniping run there. And once
Gains
again,
a few metres, and there was a knock on there somewhere, so Gungahlin out of jail.
Yeah, both teams just looking to play fast rugby, pushing that last pass. Again, it'll be a scrum marathon today. Certainly I was lucky enough to play on the other field, which wasn't as bad.
You alluded to it before, Andrew. Sorry to cut you off there. You alluded to it before that this field hasn't actually recovered from the game a few weeks ago. It was something to behold, that match. You were here, obviously.
Yeah, I was here as Vikings actually won that game, but it was hard to differentiate between the two teams. And there's a classic photo of two wingers at the end who are just crispy, not a single scrap on them, and everyone else covered head to toe in mud.
You could tell when the replacements were on because they were fresh jerseys.
Oh no, they played a full 80 minutes, they just didn't get dirty.
Yeah, well, it was hard to get it out to them, to be fair. There was no passing on that day where it was pouring rain for the majority of the match. More like a swimming pool than a field is how you would describe it.
The Eagles really need to be the next team to score here, Kieran.
Totally agree. I think that they have had a little bit more momentum since that last Royals try. They've muscled up and got their structures together. But from here, going into half-time, you'll need a few points on the board, I think, to have a bit more belief.
Yeah, we've weathered the early storm for Royals. They came out very fiercely and very hard. Let's hope we can get something back here.
Barrel's run cut short. Garner now slips over as he tries to put it on the boot. There it is. Rocky Aloha caught it off the rebound. And so Eagles regain possession. Pesky at the breakdown was Paragelli.
Yeah, great work from Dean Paragalli there. Typical number 7 function, and we've got a knock on here. Eagle scrum.
A test for the front rowers as they have to pack down in possibly the deepest part of that mud there now. Yeah, that game was something else, and of course Gungahlin lost to Vikings then, but they've had their own back since in that 1-point win against Vikings at Viking Park last week. That was the last time actually Royals won was back in round 8 against East. We're in round 14 now, and so they're playing for a lot here, despite them having a lot of confidence going into this game. They had a 26-7 loss to Vikings, then a bye, and then a tight loss to West by 2 points, and then the only draw of the season so far against Uni, and then another bye since then. So they've got fresh legs, and Gungahlin, however, looking their form sheet in the last 6 rounds is much nicer. 31-27 over West, 17-12 over Uni. That loss to Vikings, a bye, then smashed Easts, and then a 1-point win against Vikings last week. So fairly evenly matched, but in the last 6 rounds, Gungahlin have the trump.
It's certainly, something that you want coming into finals is form and just that winning mentality around the team. So this game could prove crucial not only on the ladder, but in that mental. If they did happen to meet each other in finals, it's always good to have the wood over the other team.
Yeah, that's right. The understanding of where you can beat them, how you can beat them. Penalised at the scrum there. Did you catch what that was for there, Andrew?
What he signalled there is pulling down. So the... You know what, mate? It's a scrum penalty. I'm not even going to bother.
I think there's people more experienced in rugby than us that don't understand it.
Oh.
Finding touch there. Good effort to find touch. That ball is looking muddy.
I think we'll say it was Royals' turn for a scrum penalty.
A few claps in the crowd here.
Yeah, someone caught the ball. It's always an exciting moment.
Oh, well done. Alex Small finds that man who's been in the injury bin for a number of weeks in Connor O'Byrne.
There's some fast footy here from the Eagles.
Garner now, they're looking for that speed out the right-hand side, and Mitch Connolly has an overlap. Can he get it away to his winger? Nope. Goes down, tackled hard.
Yeah, the Eagles forwards spread pretty thin around the back line here. I want to... some punishing defence there from Royals. Slow ball at the ruck here for Eagles.
Chris Coyle taking that hit up and running hard.
Yeah, not Chris McCoy, as I called him last time. Sorry about that, Chips.
Helgeson, knock on. Disappointing again from Gungahlin.
Now a penalty for Eagles off their feet. That's a morale booster for Royals, and it's something we're going to have to work on for Eagles.
We actually don't have a clock up here in the commentary box, but my feeling, Andrew, is that we're getting towards that 30-minute mark here in the first half. And with a 17-0 lead, that's not what Coach Dan Atkins would be wanting. You need some points on the board here, as we discussed before, if you're Gungahlin.
Yeah, well, we saw in second grade that pretty much all the points in the match were scored at the far end, which Eagles are currently defending. So that'll be my only omen for the second half. Hopefully the conditions help us out. You can see a strong wind building up now.
I was about to say, you can see the assistant referee's flag just blowing towards that end, as you say. So that's got to be another advantage for the team running to the south. That team is Royals now, but there's a turnover. No, it's a penalty for...
Hands in the ruck, that one.
Hands in the ruck again. So, ill discipline from Gungahlin. I wondered whether the referee was going to reach for his pocket there, because that's not the first time he's signalled that in the last 15 minutes or so. No dice, though. Must be different offenders. And good field position for Royals.
Yeah, this is one of the confusing moments as a player we've had. Sometimes referees, tend to favour whether the attacker or the defender in their interpretation of the law. So over here we had a penalty for not releasing from the tackle player, and also from the tackler. Now we've got hands in the ruck, so it seems to be mixing up a bit. As long as he's clear in his articulation of the laws, hopefully we don't want to see too many more penalties today.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, excellent gather in the end there from Paragelli. It looked like he knocked it on, but he caught it like he was catching a cup off the bench. Giving it back to Matt Cole now. And Staniforth.
Working the ball around the corner here. Trying to spread the Eagles' defence. Slow ball here.
Rolando has to dig for that ball.
Yeah, so
penalised.
Ref just calling the ruck unplayable. Sometimes, obviously you need to roll away, but sometimes you can't. So
yes, yep.
You just call that unplayable with your scrum Royals.
Okay.
We'll just take an opportunity to send a few shout-outs, Kieran.
Absolutely.
As I said, the phone buzzing.
Yeah.
We've got Mr. Adam Hall and a few other chaps listening in at the George Hardcourt, one of the many fine establishments in the Gungahlin area. And also Jordan Peters. He gets upset if I don't say hello, Jordan. Prime field position here for Royals.
It is wonderful to hear from people who are watching this Club Lime Match of the Round. The stream is going out to you courtesy of Club Lime and others. And those others include Powerade, Aquas. and Hun Superdry. You can have your say. Make sure you drop us a line if you've got either of our numbers. By all means, text us, as many of you do. Or use the hashtag JIDC16.
Big scrum for the Eagles here. Good pressure.
There it is, dominant again, and stolen by Mitch Ward against the
much bigger
Steve Sione. Acting scrum half is Cots there, backed through hands to Tuidraki and Connolly. Connolly throws a cutout pass to Barrel, and Barrel's still going, but he'll be cut down. Not before he gets an offload. Connolly there backing up his initial pass.
Very impressive Royals cover defence there. That the Eagles have got away with that against a few teams this year.
Quick hands, a little scoop there from Helgeson. Cots now tries to beat his man. And Helgeson, another run up.
He needs help here.
Plenty of men and legs in that ruck there. Penalty against them, though.
Yeah,
you called it early, Andrew.
Yeah, once again, a bit of a lottery at the breakdown there. I've seen those go either way. But the referee's chosen that very strong over the ball, Mr. Sione, like an immovable object.
Steve Sione, one of those number 8s that you look out for when you're running onto the field. One of those game-changing number 8s. Destructive at the breakdown and scary when he's got some pace behind him. Matched today by Rocky Aloha.
I can very safely say I'm happy that I'm in the commentary booth today and not out there trying to tackle either of those blokes.
Stolen by Ben McGee. And a quick kick tries to gain some ground. Not to be. Steve Sione, there he is again. Ben Johnson. Well. Cut out pass, tries to find George Stewart, but George, it was a bit too much for him.
Yeah, the wind got hold of that one and went forward, and then forward from the hands, knock on. Oh, look, another scrum. UP.
They'd be getting good at them by now.
Oh, it's energy sapping. Yeah, in these conditions, it's almost like running on the beach, you know, with this mud. So I think the forwards will be well and truly looking forward to a bit of a breather at half-time.
Hardest for hookers, no doubt.
Oh, as I've said before, Kieran, hooker is obviously the hardest position in the history of world sport, let alone rugby. Did I mention I scored a try today as well? Just thought I'd throw that one in there.
We're going to call you Stephen Moore. Oh, wait, it wasn't a double.
No,
okay.
Not that good.
Yeah, right. Well done, nonetheless.
Thank you. Shameless plug for old number 1 there. Ref playing advantage here. A full arm advantage penalty.
Royals matching Gungahlin at the scrum today. It was striking how dominant Gungahlin were last week against Vikings. Something to put in your notebook come finals time. But as you say there, he was playing advantage, so Duffy to find touch.
Yeah, one thing the Eagles, basically all year, we've been giving away a bit of weight in the scrum, but as you said, last week against Vikings, they were able to just out-scrummage them using good core strength and technique. So hopefully the sheer bulk of Royals' scrum today doesn't get the better of us. Sometimes it's simple physics,
Yeah.
900 kilos beats 800 kilos.
Yeah. A pretty awesome lock combination today does Royals in Tom Staniforth and Nathan Selwood. Nathan Selwood, the player of the match in that awesome grand final in 2015.
His nickname's Hightower.
Yeah, Rocky breaking a break to the left-hand side of the ruck now. Jake Helgeson does very well to pick it up off the turf. That pass there is no good. And again, Tuidraki does well to make sure they retain possession. That's what they need to do here, Gungahlin, to build the pressure on their opposition. On the boot now.
Chase from Helgo here.
And Johnson now.
Oh, there's that
That is a booming boot.
Yeah, that was his right foot. Probably got 70 odd metres there.
His opposite number wants touch and takes it. And opted for the safe option because he knew it must have been close to half-time because the referee, there it is, that whistle. Half-time here at the John Ident Cup match of the rounds. Royals up against